Welcome back to Dat Game Shoto. I'm Shades, and man, I've been wanting to talk about this review ever since I came back from Japan. I'm finally able to talk about Kancolle Arcade and my addiction.
When I was in Japan, I hit the arcades a lot, from rhythm games and even games where you flip tables to break furniture. One of the hottest arcade games was Kancolle Arcade, based on the Kancolle Collection, or as some people refer to it as, Kantai Collection. Kantai Collection is known as Fleet Girls, a bunch of girls who double as warships.
You heard me right, Warship Waifus.
With an online card game and even an anime, it centers around the girls as warships fighting the Absol fleet, giving you, the audience, some on-sea fan service. I don't even know how you come up with this idea, but it's fucking fantastic. So when I was in Japan, this was the arcade machine that took most of my attention. I mean, just look at this thing. With its amazing decal, Warship Waifus on screen, and a fucking ship's wheel to control the high seas.
Now before you book your ticket to Japan, there's a few things you need to know first.
First, you need an Amy card, which most arcade places supply. This is kind of like a memory card or a save card. Otherwise, you're going to lose your progress as you game over. This card will set you back 300 yen. But it's worth it for the game. Now, because the game is in Japanese, I can guide you through what I've learned. Putting in 100 yen gets you 300 GP, or play points. Once these points are used, it's game over. If you put in 300 yen, you get 900 GP.
You're probably thinking, hey, this game seems like it costs a lot. Think of it as when you're playing Pac-Man, you're not very good at it. You know, you're putting in coin after coin after coin just so you can get to the next level. But we haven't even got to the card collecting yet.
So the trick of the game is buying cards. As you research materials and progress through the game, you are able to allow a new girl to be added to the fleet, which will cost you 100 yen. Once you insert your coin, the game cabinet prints out the card.
So in other words, you're building a real-life waifu fleet.
The cards go in the side panel of the machine and are scanned in. The coding in the cards and your Amy card loads your fleet, so when you leave and come back, you can have the deck you desire. Hell, a lot of people at the arcades brought books of these things in, and would make certain loadouts depending on what they were tackling.
For me, it's just about the sex appeal.
For instance, you have destroyer girls, which are fast and produce small damage, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, aircraft carriers, and battleships. Aircraft carriers are the ones that I stuck with closely, as even when you're not in the enemy's range, you can still launch an attack and even scout the area. The other girl I went for was the battleship I got when I went to the local trading card shop. I picked up a blind pack and got Mutsu. A hell of a battleship, and by God, she's got a midriff that can sink ships. If you played the web browser game before, there are a few things that will feel the same, such as construction, the number of members, and leveling of the girls, and even the world map. But the differences are greater, one being that you actually get to control the girls 100% using the boat's wheel. And this is by far one of the funnest features in the game.
I felt like Captain Weeb.
There's also a speed wheel to the right, which again gives you the feeling of a ship. The details in these machines are just incredible. Gameplay is set in missions. My advice is to clear the board as quickly as possible so you can use as much GP as you can in the time you have. To defeat an area, it's all about finding the boss by taking out enemies. And be careful, because every move is vital, from the speed you take, the formation you use, and the attacks you perform. Because if a girl sinks, it's all over, and it will take your GP to revive the girl from the brink.
You can already tell. I got addicted to this game.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my spare change on this thing getting cards, leveling them, and playing through. For some, this may not be a selling point, as it's a sort of pay-to-play continue style game, but I think there's an edge to it. You're obtaining actual cards, which you can trade with your friends. Plus, if you don't want to pay for the cards, you can just play the browser game for free. But you don't get the 3D steering mechanic that's presented.
And by missing the 3D graphics, you're missing the battle damage.
Yeah, the girls have torn clothes as battle damage. Again, Japan is on point with the lewdness. Considering most arcade games require coins to play, and the friendly atmosphere that pay-to-play games have in Japan, I'd recommend this game when visiting. Just make sure you budget for it, or do what I did and use your spare change. This game is pleasing. I'll be hitting this one up again when I return for those late night arcade runs.
Well, that's it for this episode of That Game Short Talk. I'm Shades. Oyasumi.